Hi guys, I am Steve Hamilton with the Hamilton Collection, and today I'm going to give you a tour of my personal $30 million car collection. Now, I have 30 plus cars I'm going to show you guys, and I have ranked them from my favorite to the least favorite. Of course, we don't show them in that order on this video because we want you guys to watch each and every one. We put so much time into this vlog. Now, I've had 60 plus super and hypercars, so what you see now is what I have filtered through to get the best possible collection imaginable. And we upgrade the crap out of pretty much every one of these cars, so you're going to see a ton of upgrades and mods that we've done. And I'm going to take you guys to my home. You're here at my headquarters now. I'm going to take you to my home in Florida, and we're going to show you guys a few other places where we have cars in the middle of getting modifications and some cool stuff we haven't told you about yet. As we go through the vehicles, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite feature and my least favorite feature of each one. I have 4 brand new supercars that I'm going to show you for all of my returning viewers and those that are watching for the first time. And of course, we're going to do some fun and crazy stuff like we always do here at the Hamilton Collection with my super and hypercars. Here at the Hamilton Collection, our mission statement is driven to give back, and that is because we give people unparalleled access to these cars. We bring them to car shows, we let people sit in them, drive them, rev them. Doesn't matter what age you are, doesn't matter whether you're not enthusiast. We think it's important to make sure you share what you have. Whether you have a Ford Focus, a Model 3, a super or a hypercar, share your cars. You'd be surprised the look that it can bring to someone and the impact that it can have on their life. Now, those of you new to the channel, this is not daddy's money. I worked incredibly hard to get where I'm at right now. In fact, I had nothing growing up. I was on welfare. My family moved from town to town, from apartment, and I went to many different schools, and I have just worked incredibly hard to be able to earn what I have here. And I also understand that I am very lucky and blessed to have what I have, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. This is my 1967 Chevelle SS. I bought this car before I bought any other car in the entire collection, so I've had this thing for straight up 17 or 18 years now. A few times I wanted to sell it. The kids would not let me because this is my son Jack's absolute favorite car. I've been through 3 different engines. I break all of them, but it is highly modified. It has a Pro Touring suspension, Willwood 6-piston front calipers, 4-piston rear calipers. These were one-off wheels that were made by Asante for me. They're the only set that exists in the entire world. I ended up seeing a design that I kind of liked, and I asked them to go manufacture it, and they hooked me up with this awesome looking style. We had the rain gutters removed. We shaved the door handles. It has this nice little popper. There it goes. There it goes. These are so finicky and unreliable, but you just hit a little button there and it works when it wants to. Currently the motor is a 496 big block. Now in these old cars, a lot of people don't know, but there's no hood release. You actually literally just go right here and lift it up. You can just go in and take any engine components you want on any car that's like pre-1970. Still a very clean block. We actually did a full rotisserie build on this car a few years back, so it is impeccable. You can see how clean it still is in the engine bay all around the vehicle. This motor produces right around 500 horsepower. It is loud, it is beastly, and it is so fun shifting through the 4-speed Muncie transmission. I love this vehicle, and it's one of those cars that you just want to take on a day like this, a nice 70-degree day where it's sunny and where you just want to go just beat the living crap out of a car. My favorite feature is just the rawness of the entire experience and the shifting. My least favorite feature is just the reliability. Once you drive this thing for 20 or 30 minutes really hard, regardless of which engine I've had, it just doesn't seem to really work all that good. The hot carburetor, hot air just doesn't perform super good. So we're gonna LS swap it this winter, and it'll be a completely different machine, and that will solve that problem. And if you wanna see a YouTube video of the LS swap, how much it costs, kind of all the things that we did, shoot a comment below and just let us know if you think it's a good idea, give us some ideas. And of course the license plate Javalo, a lot of people ask what that means. My kids' names are Jack, Ava, and Logan, so it is just like a hodgepodge acronym of their names. For number 2 on the list, we have my brand new Mercedes-AMG GT Black Series. Now, for those that regularly watch us, I have 4 brand new cars coming throughout this vlog that I have never made public. So stick around and see. All of them are supercars, and one of them is a super truck. But this one, I just really love the color. That's why I ended up getting it. There are tons of carbon on the hood, on the roof, on the spoiler. Because it's a Black Series, it's significantly more expensive, and it has a unique flat plane crank engine on it that is unique to only this model right here. And because it's a new car, we're gonna go ahead and break it in with some donuts, because that's what we do here on the Hamilton Collection. A cool fact about this car is that it held the Nürburgring track record for quite a bit of time. So this thing is a beast, and it is fast. Fire it up. It's a little underwhelming though. We are gonna throw a tune and exhaust. I just have to find the right tune and the right exhaust system for it. And we modify a lot of cars here at the Hamilton Collection. You're gonna see that throughout this tour. There we go. That smells great. This is my brand new Lamborghini Revuelto. This thing replaced the Aventador, and I've had both, so I can tell you that the drivability and just, this is almost like they perfected the Aventador. Now, it's not quite as raw as the Aventador, but overall, I think it's just a much, much better car. Funny story, we actually ordered this in yellow. The matte black showed up, and it was kind of a happy accident because when we saw it, we're like, this matte black actually looks a lot cooler, and it still has the yellow accents. So we're gonna go ahead and stick with it. Plus, they sold it to me at MSRP, and these are going for like 300K above MSRP, so how could you turn that down? Great thing about Lamborghini is they are part of the Volkswagen Group, Audi, Bugatti, Porsche, so they build a quality car, and we've had very little issues with any of the 3 Lamborghinis that I have. I actually love the wheels on this. I love the width. I love the rear end. That's my favorite part of the body and the aesthetic. We added the yellow striping on the back, which makes it look like the Centenario, and it's funky to look at it when it's parked. I mean, it still looks good, but when this thing is driving and you're behind it, it just has a presence, especially because of that little striping. It's odd how a small thing makes such a big difference. I love the way that they shape the exhaust. Speaking of exhaust, we have a Gintani exhaust on the way. I think that's going to help transform this vehicle once we get that installed. Bad part about that is we may have to tune it, which could void the warranty, so if we do tune it, maybe it'll be hush-hush. Maybe we just won't say anything before we get blacklisted. Who knows? This is actually Lamborghini's first mainstream hybrid vehicle. It produces over 1,000 horsepower. The hybrid motors get rid of that shift lag. They help get it off of the start quicker. Only the best, 87 octane for the Lamborghini Revuelto. If they had 85 octane and it was cheaper, that's what I'd be putting in. I'm just kidding. These have to have premium or they run booty. I've had this for a good month and a half, and we put almost 1,000 miles on it, so I can with confidence say that my favorite feature is just that it is a really quick car with none of that shift lag like the Aventador had. Least favorite feature is the door handles. They are like 6 inches inside, so that's 2 of my dicks that I could fit to get the door handle. It's kind of crazy. And also it's had some quality issues off the bat. The hood shutting mechanism did not work properly, and then one of the taillights literally just came loose all on its own. So I think that's kind of indicative of a early production vehicle, and those are bugs that just happen. It does start in E mode so that you can be nice and quiet when you're creeping out of the neighborhood and not waking up your neighbors. I only wake up my neighbors about 6 days out of the week, so 1 day out of the week we bring this home. Brakes are a big improvement too, and the steering is just so much better. The Aventador was such a hard vehicle to turn and steer and just felt wide and heavy. This actually feels like you could go track this thing, be competitive, and have a good time. And speaking of kind of the connection with Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, they adapted the 9912 and the 992 GT3 RS cup holders right there, which on the prior Aventador, those were like a $2,000 option just for a clip-in cup holder. These come free of charge with it, and there's 2 of them. And they're actually really sturdy and stable, where you can throw like a can of soda in there, hoon it, and it just stays right inside the cup holder. And now we are on to my Florida house. And why are we here in Florida? That is because I've got a few special cars here. Well, they're kind of special. We'll show you guys those in just a sec. But first, my nephew Nate. Part of the reason we got this Florida house is because we love Disney World, and we always try to get my family out here and friends as much as possible. We've had this home less than a year, probably had 50 different guests here. You got to check out the pool. That's what sold us on this house, and we're going to take you guys through to go check out the cars. Right, buddy? Yeah. Yeah. All right. First up is my Tesla Model X. We have had 7 or 8 different Teslas now, and this is the Florida hauler. Florida is actually the #1 state for Tesla vehicle sales, so naturally we got to get this. This is for when just us and the family come down here, and then when we have much larger groups, we have our Mercedes Sprinter van. Now this thing is the people hauler, so when we have friends, families, large groups down here, this thing comes in handy big time, and we have been using this heavily during this last trip. It fits every bit of 15 people, a ton of luggage, black leather, commercial air conditioning unit. This thing has hauled the likes of celebrities, influencers, and it's just pretty amazing. Right, dude? Yeah. All right, high five.
Too slow. Back to Illinois.
This next car was inspired by my love for basketball. Orange, just like a basketball, the McLaren 765 LT. Swoosh! This is one of the first cars that I fully spec'd from the factory. I love matching interiors. It has a subtle bit of orange on the inside with the Papaya Spark orange on the outside. Now the Papaya Spark is a lot like the McLaren orange, but it has a metallic flake in it that makes it look incredible inside the sun. This is the Spyder variant, which, if you haven't realized it by now, I absolutely love the Spyder variant of these vehicles. It's so fun to just drive them. We spec this thing with a ton of carbon fiber. We put some Rohana wheels on it that are color matched also to the vehicle with the rivets. And I think this is one of the best looking set of wheels that we have on the vehicle. By the way, if you do need wheels and tires, fitmentindustries.com for vehicles like this or any other car really. We have a huge selection of wheels and we ship really, really fast. Mountain balance ready to go at your door too. This vehicle has been an absolute workhorse for us. We tuned it, we put downpipes on it. It shoots huge flames. And we drive the living hell of it. It's about to roll over 8,000 miles this week, and it still runs absolutely perfect. McLaren built a really solid vehicle. This is my favorite McLaren just in terms of driving experience that we've had to date. And if you have $500,000 to spend, which I understand a lot of people don't have that kind of money, but this is the best vehicle for $500,000 that money can buy, in my opinion. We're gonna take it for a ride just so I can show you guys how fun this thing is to drive, how loud it is, how it bangs, pops, and does all that fun stuff. My favorite feature about this vehicle is obviously just the overall driving experience, and I hate to be that general, but it handles, performs so well. It is extremely fast with this tune. In fact, I think the McLaren 720, 765, 750 are the most tunable vehicles and give you the best bang and power for your buck. The 720S might actually be the best bang for your buck, because those are low 200s right now and essentially the same drivetrain. My least favorite feature of this, see, I would usually say reliability, but McLaren has been top notch with this vehicle and its reliability. So I'm gonna be petty and say that my least favorite feature is that it requires you to have one phone that is the media player. So if I share this vehicle with 4 or 5 people, which I often do, you have to go in and reset your phone as the default phone for it to play Bluetooth, even though it will connect 5, 10 phones at once. Again, petty. As with every other McLaren I've had, the interior has great user interface. It's extremely comfortable. Phenomenal driving experience. I'll show you. Woo! Sideways. Got a little sideways there. The great part about that is feet from the area where we wrecked the McLaren Senna. Can you imagine I spun this thing out and this thing wrecked only a couple feet from where the Senna got? That'd be bad. We should try and get some flames going while we're just sitting here at a stop sign. People are probably like, what a douche. Great for roasting pizzas, by the way, the fire. The pizza tasted so good. Little gassy, but it gave it some flavor. On to the next vehicle. This is my Rimac Nevera, or as they call it in Croatia, because I get a lot of Croatian hate when I pronounce it wrong, the Rimac Nevera. This is the quickest car in the world. It broke 28 world records for speed, and we have actually put it to the test doing a top speed run with it and just driving it and hooning it, and it is literally the quickest car in the collection. It feels like it. It has drift mode. It's just absolutely crazy, awesome, fun car. It's the only purple car that I have. We did kind of a Joker spec. It wasn't intended to be like the Joker, but that's what it is. And it just looks so clean and awesome. It's the only purple Rimac that exists in the entire world. And we just actually added on these awesome Brixton forged wheels. They have the Dimag carbon fiber barrels, the only set of, and I put a lot of aftermarket wheels on my vehicles because obviously I own fitmentindustries.com, I own customoutfits.com. where you can buy the cheapest wheels on the planet and the hugest selection and the best customer service and blah, 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 la-di-da. Beautiful set from Bricks and Forge. We color match the rivets on the inside of the wheel, which is kind of my thing. I love color matching wheels, interiors, and have some great Michelins on there. And I've actually never taken these on the road, so we're gonna see if the lighter wheels and the carbon fiber barrels actually increase the speed on this already insane car. These wheels do look amazing though. I was very picky about what I wanted to order, and they were the best looking wheel that I thought would match this vehicle, and Bricks and Forge made them. And they took care of us really well, manufactured these. They look beautiful. They turned out better than expected, and they were extremely good to work with. They've always been a good partner of ours at Fitment Industries as well. So we're gonna go put these things to the test. Let's do it. So we're gonna start this thing up. First thing you have to do is actually throw it into track mode because that decreases battery life significantly but makes it way more fun to drive. What I love about this is it actually has facial recognition built into the camera up here. So it just detects who you are and adjusts your seats, mirrors, and everything automatically. Only car I've seen do that, and probably one of the coolest features I've seen on any of these vehicles. This car is quiet and it is stupid fast, and the drift mode is one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life. Now, this is the first vehicle that we've ever built in chassis number 69. If you don't know what that means, then check with your mom. Additionally, we had Mr. Mate Rimac sign this thing for us, which was a request that I had when we walked the factory with him many a moons ago when we wanted to have this thing built, and he was kind enough to do so for us. And he also did the inaugural fart in the car because that was something that he wanted to do, and we're very grateful for him for doing that. So thank you. Let's go drive. Look. Oh, that's right, the new wheels. I forgot about that. All right, so we gotta do it through the comparative lens. Like, is this thing faster? How does it get faster than it already is? They're pushing the limits of what vehicles can do at this point. Oh yeah. Tires are a little wet. The mirror's like shaking. We're going so fast. Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I showed the speed as if we're gonna put that in the video.
No, we're not.
I know.
Drift mode enabled. So what drift mode does is it takes the almost 2,000 horsepower, and we know that because we dynoed this thing, and it throws it all to the rear wheel. So you can just hit the accelerator, and it's the easiest car to do burnouts in the freaking world. So let's do it. Well done, Steve. Well done. That was pretty good. Yeah?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That's fun.
That was good. I crushed it. My favorite feature is just the insane speed. There's nothing else like this that goes this fast. And then my least favorite feature is just going to be the battery life. I can't even, the way I drive, I get probably 70, 80 miles on a full charge. And it also does take kind of a while to charge. Teslas, I feel like, charge about twice as fast than this.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna turn this off.
And this is my limo. And this is my limo. And this is my limo. And I have a fourth limo too that's in the shop and actually just got sold today. Now, limos are like potato chips. You can never have enough of them. In all seriousness though, I really love these limos because what they do is they transcend me back to a different era. So when I'm in each one of these, I feel like I am living and embodying that year. I try to keep these things meticulous, exactly as they were when they rolled out the floor. This is a 1983 Cadillac Fleetwood limo. So was the other one that just sold. It's blue cloth, maximum gaudiness, TV inside. Very, very clean limo. Not the cleanest. My least favorite thing about this car though is that it is the slowest car in the entire collection. Tommy did a 0 to 60 in 35 seconds the other night. I'm not even making that up. My most favorite thing about this is that it is the same year as the year I was born. This is the oldest limo in the collection. It's my 1977 Lincoln Continental. And it is actually the same as the Lincoln here, just the older generation. You can see some similarities with the grille. And this one is actually a lot rougher than I expected it to be from the pictures. Most cars I do by sight unseen, including all of these limos actually. I didn't have really any diligence done on them. The price was right though, and I think that we're gonna fix this one up and make it look really cool because it is the oldest, just 1977. It just embodies that year with bright red interior. It needs a TV though. It has a cubby for the TV. We're gonna get a TV installed, get some of the wiring updated. My favorite feature about this is that it has the 460 cubic inch motor inside of it. That thing is crazy, but it only has 200 horsepower, which is kind of silly. My least favorite is that the body is just really worn out. And kind of the gem of all of the limos, the 1989 Lincoln Town Car. This thing is immaculate. I actually paid less for this than any other of the limos, and it is by far the cleanest. You could sit and drive in this thing and it feels like you're in a 2010 limo. It's just so smooth, it accelerates really well. The funny thing is it actually has the same motor as the Mustang Fox body, from the late 80s. So literally the same 5.0 motor powering this entire limo. And again, exceptionally clean. My favorite feature about it is that motor and just how clean it is. My least favorite feature is probably tan interior, and oddly, it's the newest one, so it's a little bit harder to get into the vibe because it's just not quite as old-timey as the other limos. And fun fact on this car is when I ordered it and it was getting shipped here, it was actually pulled over by the DEA, completely torn apart and searched because they thought the dude was transporting drugs inside my limo, which of course he was. Next up is my Lamborghini Gallardo LP560. Now the time that this vlog goes live, this vehicle will be gone. Why will it be gone? Because we gave it away to a subscriber. Bro, what's up? What up, brother, man? Hold on, but you also got $30,000 cash, buddy. There you go, there's your money. Now the reason that I am including this in my collection tour is because we are wondering if you guys would like us to give away another car. Should we do something bigger and better? Let us know in the comments if you guys think we should give away another car. This is my Porsche 918. Now, my favorite memory from this was hooning the streets with David Dobrik in LA.
The best day of my life!
Go.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a little gas here. Oh my God!
And my least favorite memory was when the exhaust broke. So now that was a really fun exhaust. At first it was loud, it was fast, it was crazy.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Now, unfortunately, it created some major heat problems. It melted some of the heat shielding. The exhaust itself broke. The quality wasn't that great. And it was so loud that I actually could not, like, it was giving me headaches, which is shocking because all of these cars have exhaust on them and that one just wouldn't work. So, had to take it off, unfortunately. Least favorite memory. My favorite feature about the 918, it is that it's really quick and agile. Now, this was the world's quickest car from 2015 to 2019. And I will tell you that you feel it when you're in the seat, and it sounds incredible. The exhaust is right behind your head. Just the hybrid motor with the gas, it's chef's kiss. It's really, really great. Now, my least favorite feature about this is actually the styling. This is a pretty bland car by today's standards. I know you have the Koenigsegg, Bugattis, Pagani's. They look like super and hypercars, but when someone sees this, it just looks like a subtle variant on the 911 chassis. So people don't realize this is a $2+ million car. I also want to point out that this is an incredibly reliable car. Porsche knows how to build a vehicle, and they are at the top echelon. Them and Bugatti, the top echelon of reliability. My least favorite kind of ties into that. I did have to have an annual service, and it was very expensive. We'll show that on screen what that receipt came out to, but I think the brake pads alone were around $10,000, which is insane. And the Y-Stock required a special brake pad that like 4x'd it, and just it hurt the pocketbook. This particular example actually came from the factory in a unpainted finish with guards red. So it's had 3 different kind of variants. So it was a matte unfinished with guards red front and rear. After that, there was actually a problem with the matte black finish, and the factory ended up repainting it the gray black. So this is the only Porsche 918 in the world that has the gray black paint with the guards red front and rear. And then we added in a livery along the side to kind of throw homage to another car that it looked like. And then later on, since we had too many gray hypercars, the old Pagani, the Bugatti Chiron, we ended up wrapping it all red. And shout out to Flexi Shield for building some amazing product. We've been using them on pretty much everything that we have, and they're just great partners for vinyl and PPF. This is a little feature that you clip onto the top of the vehicle on the windshield that actually helps the vehicle be more aerodynamic and route air, I think, away from the inside of the cabin and off of your head. That, my dear. I'm shocked at how small this front trunk space is and that these fit inside of there. I'm used to the opposite, fitting something very small into a very big space. Wait. I'm kind of used to the opposite, fitting something very small in spaces. easy. All right, and then we'll install this. Now, cool things about these is that they all pretty much came with the acid green brake calipers and stitching on the inside. There were some VIPs that got them in the white finish, but the vast majority have that. Center lock wheels. Those things are like 400 pounds of torque of force compared to a regular lug nut that's like 80. This actually has the furthest electric range of the Holy Trinity, and I actually had the entire Holy Trinity at one point. This is the only one that remains because it's the best of the Holy Trinity. I will fight to the death for that. Side note, we actually raced Alex Choi's Mazda Miata with this just in electric mode, and we beat him.
Oh my God!
It still wins! So just like all the other Porsches, the key goes in on the left. Tons of carbon, you could see. We got a little bit of scratches, but thank God we PPF'd that. And the reason why we have scratches is because we just allow so many people to come and sit and enjoy these cars. That's what it is all about. You can see carbon fiber on the door card. This is probably the craziest and most difficult car to start. You actually have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 things just to get it moving. So first you gotta hit the brake. That's pretty normal. Turn the key. Wait a second, does nothing. You have to spin the dial into the mode you want. Turn parking brake off and shift. That's actually 5 things just to get this thing moving, where you step into a Tesla and it's literally brake, shift. Perspective on the inside, not so great. You have this little glove box right here with whatever that stuff is, and then a glove box. Where is that one, Tommy?
Should be a little button right here.
Oh, it's got a button. Yeah, and then a glove box there. Was this the underglove?
Yes.
And then a cup holder, which so many cars don't have, like the Bugatti. It's a shame. And this one had a pretty solid sound system. A lot of the hypercars, the Koenigsegg and Bugatti, and Pagani in particular, very bad, like very quiet sound systems. This one actually bumps and it sounds good. And now onto my 4 daily drivers. Now, all 4 of my daily drivers are highly modified, with the exception of one, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later, but it's gonna be modified really soon. I have my 2023 Mercedes G63 AMG 4x4 squared. This was inspired by Houston Croston when I got to see his when we were out in LA, and I fell in love with it. I hate the non-lifted version, but this lifted version, that's about $150,000 more, is just so freaking fun. Now, we tuned the motor, threw on an FI exhaust, and it sounds crazy, it burbles, cracks. It has an awesome contrasting interior with this bold red, great user interface. It is just a really quick, peppy car. I couldn't beat a Tesla the other day, but I came really close, so in my eyes, that's pretty solid. Now, this is the favorite of my 4 daily drivers. It is loud, beastly. I just love driving this thing. It is so fun. Pretty soon, we're gonna throw some 24-inch Vossen wheels on here with some 24x35 Kelfire RT tires. That tire is awesome because we developed it here at our company. You can find them at customoffsets.com. They are priced well and they perform exceptional. And it's gonna look like a totally different vehicle. Check out the exhaust tips from the FI exhaust. This thing came actually factory with oval exhaust, which made no sense because this is the most square vehicle I've ever seen in my life. And FI corrected that by doing some really cool looking, like, parallelogram exhaust. My favorite feature about this is actually the sound that it makes, especially when you let off the gas and it just burbles. We're gonna go do some pulls and check that out, but my least favorite feature is just the fact that there's significant turbo lag, and sometimes you'll be hitting the gas and it will just take so long to get this thing moving. And the tune is so aggressive that if you lightly hit the gas, it will also like jerk your body. That's just kind of obnoxious, but overall I still love this car. It's so fun to drive. You can hear it. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how it's a little laggy and then it just goes. I'm like not looking at the road.
Do you like that the seats hug you when you turn and whatnot?
Oh, the seats are great. And it's like, yeah, and then they have the massaging feature where they massage your booty hole, and your back. The booty hole one's my favorite. And then the headrests, of course, are like pillows, just like the Rolls-Royce Phantom. Ah, that's just so fun. It's so fun. There's no better daily driver than this right now. until I move on to the next. And now for the second new car that I haven't told you guys about yet, my Porsche GT3 RS. Now this is the 9912, which I had before in lizard green. I liked it so much that after I sold it, I realized I needed to get a new one. Now, the Miami blue color is actually my favorite color in this, so I figured I would go all out and get that Miami blue with the Y-Sock package and the carbon fiber hood and a little bit of weight reduction throughout it. And the reason that I got the 9912 instead of the 992 that I've talked about in prior vlogs is that I was able to get an allocation for the brand new 3RS, but it won't be here for about a year. And a huge shout out to Stuart at Porsche Chicago for hooking us up with that. We actually get to take delivery of it in Germany, and I'm gonna really try hard to get the PTS Ruby Star Red so we can have a pinkish car in the collection. My favorite feature about this is that it is raw and it is reliable. This is the most reliable car I think that I have. We put 15,000 miles on the lizard green Porsche GT3 RS that we had. We beat the living crap out of it. We took it to the track more than any other vehicle and it never broke, not one single time. My least favorite feature is that this option did not have the carbon ceramic brakes, and I realize now after I bought it, because I bought this sight unseen like I do most of my cars, I realize how much of a difference the stopping power is on the carbon ceramic versus the non, because my lizard green had the carbon ceramic, and this thing just doesn't slow down as quick. But that's okay because we're getting the new one in just a little bit of matter of time. And if you haven't noticed already, I have 6 of these Benpack lifts in my garage. They have a huge variety and assortment of lifts, whether it's 4-post, 2-post, some really neat concoctions where it's 3 cars wide and they have elevator. That's actually how I found them, was through their elevated lifts. It was such a cool and unique design that I haven't seen anywhere else. And one of my favorite features about this is they have the quickest up and down time of any lift that I could find online. And that is clutch to me because I am constantly cycling cars in and out of here. And on that note, we're actually gonna lift this up because we need to put another car underneath it. What do you guys, come here. What do you guys think of the red brakes, by the way? We're wondering if we paint them yellow or stick with them red. I don't know. You guys should comment below and let us know what you think.
We could do Miami blue and do an
That's an option. I think that would be too much. All right, cool. Make sure that they're locked. Boom. And make sure you guys check out the link in the description if you guys want to get one of these Benpacks for your very own. Remember, they make a whole bunch of different varieties. They can pretty much fit any garage, and they are super good quality, super fast, and I will continue to be a Benpack customer for life. On to the next. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go over the $13+ million cars I have on order. But first, here's some Conway Twitty. Smells like pizza in here. So I'm excited for every single one of these cars to come in, but we're gonna start with the one that I am least excited with, and that is the Tesla Roadster, because I've been waiting for 6 years. They've had $50,000 of my money on deposit. It looks pretty cool. It's gonna seat 4 people, which I'm excited about. My guess is the rear is not too comfortable. That's what she said, but it's probably gonna be faster than the Rimac Nevera, so I'm super curious on what that feels like because the Rimac is insane.
everybody.
Whenever you're ready, bro.
All right, let's go. I'm ready.
Next up is my Dodge Viper. This is a first-gen Viper, and it is yellow, which is the rarest color that they produce. Now, we bought this with only 495 miles, which is crazy low, and I've put almost double that, I think, since I've gotten it about 6-7 months ago. And this was the actual car that was on the poster on my wall when I was a kid. Now, a lot of people say the Countach was their vehicle. That seems to be the one I hear the most, but I'm a little bit younger than that, so the Viper was the first car that kind of got me into everything. And I don't know why it took me so long to get one, but I finally did get one. And this is like, it's almost cartoonish when you drive it because of the way the hood is shaped and the way that it looks. The stick shift is amazing. My son and I go driving. I've been teaching him how to drive stick shift now that he has his permit. And it's just a smooth, really, really well-built car. It has a V10. It does a quarter mile in just over 12 seconds. And we were actually able to beat the quarter mile time that Dodge had set for this when we took it to the airstrip and raced it. A lot of people complain about how squirrely these things were since they don't have ABS, they don't have traction control, but huge difference when you throw on a set of brand new tires. The old 90s Goodyears, I think that they had, just didn't get traction. They weren't the same technology, but with brand new shoes on them, just an amazing ride, and I love this thing. Let's do a pull. It's still cold. That is my favorite feature. It's that the stick shift is just so clean, so smooth, so well despite it being 30 years old. My least favorite feature is that I don't think it was maintained super well because I got it with low miles actually for the condition of the body, because most of these have 10,000 plus miles on them and the body is reflective of that. Now the paint is beautiful, shiny, crisp, but a huge crack on the hood emerged from it, and so unfortunately that's my least favorite feature and it bugs the crap out of me. But I still try to get this thing out as often as possible when it's nice and warm out. This is my Bugatti Chiron SS. I spent more time speccing this car than any other vehicle I have ever specced in my life. Around 80 hours went into picking this very, very perfect spec. Now we actually did this in a Grigio Telesto to match the Murcielago paint code. It's a one-off car. There are no others in this color. You'll notice the 16 in the front. That represents that it is a W16 motor. Love the orange accents on this. They just set it off so well. We have the tangerine orange interior. We matched it with orange calipers, the center caps. I'll show you guys under the wing in just a little bit, but it looks so cool. When you brake super hard, all you see is that big orange Super Sport logo on the bottom. Styling on this is quite a bit different than my last Chiron. It looks a lot cooler. It's longer. It has the holes there, a lot more carbon. And this is the fastest production variant car in the entire world. Top speed of over 300 miles an hour. Technically the 300 plus is, but this could be easily tuned to go there. Same motor, drive chain, everything on this thing. Funny thing about the taillights and headlights, well, just the taillights. The headlights, first of all, look amazing. Are they gonna work? There we go. That is super cool. Taillights have been a little bit unreliable for us. We've been through a couple different ones. It doesn't help that we were out snowboarding, taking this thing out in the winter. Just side note, these don't do well up California driveways, particularly those owned by David Dobrik.
Guys, what the f were you thinking? No, no, no!
How do you get your cars up there?
I don't have a Bugatti! Oh my lord!
My last one got scraped pretty bad over there. And we actually did not spec this with traditional carbon fiber. We actually did the black carbon fiber, which is so much darker and looks just so cooler in the sunlight. And it just kind of contrasts this paint color so much better. Not a huge fan of the wheels. That's okay. They only give you one of two choices. The other one was much uglier. This one is just kind of ugly. The rear diffuser is so amazing on this vehicle, and it is so different from the base model. And then we spec'd out the engine completely different in terms of the way that it looks. My last one had a lot of like silver brush finishes. This one is fully carbon with the tangerine orange accents as well. I think that is the best way to spec out this motor. And I may be biased a little bit, but I think that my spec on the Chiron SS is the best that there is. Also, this is a pretty sweet key, but these things cost over $10,000. How do I know that? Because I lost the key on my last Bugatti, and I also dropped my Bugatti Veyron key into a sewer. So I'm walking out of my car and I just go to grab my phone out of my pocket, and then the Bugatti key slips out and goes into the sewer.
Oh, we're gonna get this. Yes. Yes. Success.
So I'm like 0 for 2 on Bugatti keys. Currently, I've also lost my Rimac key. So I've been trying to find that for 24 hours, and I think I've also lost that key. I can't be trusted. The team won't even let me drive with this key. They give me the spare Volkswagen flip-out key whenever I go, and I don't blame them. It's smart. They're thinking. We should go for a drive, and we'll talk about my favorite, least favorite features and the interior. I love just how subtle the motor is when it starts up. This is literally a 1600 horsepower car, and it's just so quiet. We always call the Bugatti basically a Bentley with a W16 motor in it because it's so comfortable inside of it, and it's just so easy to drive. Like my 15-year-old son, I wanted to make sure that this was the very first car he ever drove when he was legally able to drive. Okay, look in your mirrors. That's your job now. Yep, left view mirror, that view mirror, and then you can go. I see, it looks good to me too.
I just go around the
Yeah. You're just driving. And he drove this, and he was just shocked at how easy it is to go drive one of these things. Anybody can drive it. On that same note about everyone being able to drive it, I did take my prior one to the track, and I went really hard on it. I would say that these things weren't super great for the track because the brakes overheated really bad, and they got bright orange, and it was not a good thing. It was a good thing that I pulled off when I did. But the braking on this vehicle is the best. There are no better brakes than the Bugatti Chiron breaks. Nothing even comes close. Some side notes about the interior: the black anodized center portion and all the basically the black anodized metal parts were almost $60,000. So that's the cost of literally a new BMW just in interior components. We did the elephant stitching on the headrests of the seats because that was a shout out to Ettore Bugatti's brother Rembrandt. He owned a furniture company and that was their logo for that, so it's paying homage to him. Another funny story that we learned from the president of Bugatti when we went and visited the factory was that Ettore Bugatti would walk into the factory, or he would ride into the factory on a horse so that he was above all of his workers, and then the horse would basically just shit on the ground and he would leave. So it's kind of counter the Hamilton collection, because we are not about being above all others. We are about just being integrated with and on the same level as everyone else, and sharing the cars with the community, giving people access to this stuff, letting people sit inside of them, have fun with them, and just giving back to the community. That's what we're all about here. So very counter to Mr. Ettore Bugatti, but his company builds a great car. Let's do some polls. Unbelievably fast. It's fun hooning this with the Rimac, because the Rimac is the quickest car in the world, and there's nothing in the collection that keeps up with that. We actually did a top speed run with the two of these, and the Rimac just destroyed it.
Wow, dude! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
However, on the longer one, the 2-mile one, we think there was an internal engine code that blocked this thing from going above 239 miles an hour. So we need to go do it again and give this one a fair shot in the 2-mile pull. My favorite feature about the Bugatti is that it brakes amazingly. Nothing touches this, so I have to go with that on this. My least favorite feature about this is that it's very laggy. When you shift it into drive and hit the gas, if you don't give it a full half second, it's gonna just clunk into gear and knock your head back. It's very disappointing to me that they can't figure out a faster way to get that done, because it happens all the time. So hopefully some software update can fix that and it's not something mechanically inside that's just laggy. On to the next vehicle. The Pagani Utopia. I've been waiting for this thing forever. The only reason why it made number 5 is because it's a lower horsepower car. It's the lowest horsepower of the remaining 4. The remaining 4 are insane. I did select the manual transmission on that, and a manual hypercar is just bonkers. I don't know that there's been one in the last 20 years that's just full manual, not a simulated manual gear. So that's insane that they're doing that, and super cool, and I think we have a great spec on the Pagani coming. And for my second favorite daily driver, which my wife has basically taken over for me, is the Lamborghini Urus. We totally spec'd this brand new from the factory, waited nearly a year and a half during COVID to get it. It has become a staple in the family. I drive it almost as much as I do my Mercedes G-Wagon. It is really quick because we tuned it. We put an Akrapovic exhaust on it, which sounded just like factory, so I wasted $15,000 on that upgrade. Now, Lamborghini makes two colors, the Verde Selvins and the Verde Mantis. The Verde Mantis is far more popular. The Selvins has like a deeper metallic to it. We did the Verde Selvins on this thing, which I think is so much cooler when you compare the two side by side. It is a really fast, agile car. I mean, it's the same as Audi's flagship RS Q8, but has the Lamborghini tune, motor, and Lamborghini flair. You can't beat that. It's like the best of both worlds. We put some 24-inch variant wheels on it. They are matte black face with a gloss black lip. I have curbed these wheels ungodly amount of times. We have had Tommy fix these things so often, probably 37 different curb marks. There's one there. Even got a nice chunk of the tire out of it as well with that one. This is after repairing and replacing all the hoops. So I don't know what it is about this car. I just always be curbing these wheels. And it's not even my wife, it's me. I want you guys to hear this car because it still does sound awesome despite it having nothing special on the exhaust. There's a few things that I cheaped out on. The wheels that actually came with from the factory were hideous because I knew I was going to put aftermarket wheels on it. The brake calipers came gray because it was just too expensive to upgrade. We had them taken off and repainted here locally. They did a great job matching the body of it. We ordered a bunch of carbon fiber on this vehicle. I think it has nearly $40,000 in options. I'm probably losing a lot of money on it now because post-COVID, these things have kind of fallen off a cliff. It drives like a sports car, it drives like a Lamborghini. You gotta check out the interior, lots of carbon, and I always like color matching my interiors, especially when the exterior is a bold color. So we did the green to match the exterior, and I just love how they contrast it so perfectly. It's my thing. In addition to the amazing user interface, my favorite feature about this vehicle would just be that it's so quick, sporty, and reactive. There's no lag like there is with my Mercedes. My least favorite feature is that the factory made the wheels actually magnetic to curbs, so I don't like the fact that they actually gravitationally magnetically pull the wheels towards curbs.
Oh my God!
Boom, now on to daily driver number 3, my third favorite of all of them. So this is the one that we have for our airport hauling or whenever we have more than 5 people that are gonna be joining us on our cruise. A lot of long trips in the Escalade. This is the Escalade-V series, the nearly 700 horsepower, 0 to 60 in I think 4.8 seconds. I mentioned that one of the cars is not modified. That is the one of the 4 dailies that is not modified yet. So we're gonna send it to Hennessy to get a 1,000 horsepower upgrade. I think they have the tune up to 900 horsepower right now. I'm like, that's not good enough for me. We need to get it all the way up to the 1,000 that they will be able to do. And this thing is already a beast, but it's gonna be an absolute machine when that is totally done. There's not a whole lot of differences from the V to the base. There's a little bit of different interior stitching. Of course, it has the Super Cruise feature, which was super hard to get during COVID. And I was fortunate enough to get it, and it is probably the closest thing that I've had to Tesla's autopilot. So number one favorite feature about this would probably be that they've created this full-size SUV and such a great autopilot feature. My least favorite feature is that it's very heavy. It's clunky to drive. It feels like you're really engulfed inside this big box. It's heavy to steer. Overall, it's just not a very fun vehicle other than accelerating and going really fast. In the factory, it burbles from the factory when you have it in V mode, which is just nuts. Here we go. It's so loud. It's like a full-size family SUV that's got a Corvette motor in it, basically. Launch control, baby. Here we go. So easy to do. I'm just so numb to it. We're actually all the way in Texas at Hennessy Performance because the THC BBC, my Cadillac Escalade-V series, is here getting a 1,000 horsepower motor put in. I actually haven't seen it yet, so we're gonna walk around to the front and check it out. So this motor is actually a totally different motor. And I was told that my Escalade is actually the 3rd Escalade that they have done. We didn't even request this serial number. They just know me so well that they hooked up serial number 69. So God bless them, but you can see logos everywhere. I think that's just the monster supercharger on top with the Hennessy logo on it. I think they did a full rebuild, pistons, everything internally with this thing has been changed, pulleys installed. There you have the Escalade-V, and this is actually gonna be a 0 to 60 car in under 3.5 seconds with 1,000 horsepower, and I am completely stoked to be able to beast this thing. Even from the factory, it sounded crazy. Had a loud burbling engine, and now it's gonna be even crazier than that. So stay tuned actually for that YouTube video. We're gonna do a full build series on this vehicle. The McLaren W1. I didn't enjoy the P1 all that much, but I really love what McLaren's done with the Senna. I love what they've done with the 765 LT. So my gut says that that's going to be an extremely special car that'll be really fun to drive. And like the rear wing and spoiler mechanism is crazy. I love how they swapped around the doors and did those a little bit differently. And overall, just that's going to be a cool car. And now for the fun summer vehicles, I have my Honda Ruckus. When it's 2 Ruckuses, I think it's Ruckus. We'll have to correct that and check that. This was my old one. It has a loud exhaust. It had a lot of problems. We got it fixed, but not before I went and bought this much newer model with much lower miles. It's quieter. So it depends on the mood that I'm in. Today I think I'm gonna drive the loud one because it's OG. I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic. And helmets. Helmets are a good, safe thing to wear. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. And yeah, buddy. And ladies and gentlemen, we are at the point where we're at my #1 favorite vehicle in the entire collection, the Koenigsegg Regera. And I'm gonna tell you that this right here is one of my favorite features of the vehicle. Pop-up doors, there we go. Oh, that's so clean and amazing. And the back too. You actually have to lift the back up to fuel it. Maybe we'll show that a little bit later. The first thing I want to point out is that we just got this back from getting a PPF installed. We chose FlexiShield because they are just really awesome, and they've done like 10 of our vehicles at this point. Such great product. It's super thick, protects against road chips. These things have saved my life actually in a lot of scenarios since we let so many people sit in We drive the vehicle so hard. Like, it's crazy that we'll get a chip on the vehicle and just peel off the PPF, and that stuff is so thick and protective that there is nothing underneath it but perfect paint. Speaking of perfect paint, doesn't this look like it's actually painted? Like, you would never know that this is a PPF, but here it is. And they actually have over 85 colors. They're always adding new colors to the assortment too, but over 85 colors to choose from. It's UV protecting against the sun, and it's just a really great product that we love, trust, and we're gonna continue to use on our vehicles. But we chose this red because I am so glad I chose this, and it looks insane on this vehicle. And it's kind of like the Pagani in a way, where you get a little bit more access to the innards of the vehicle, the suspension, coils, air intakes. Look at how much carbon it has on this. Something about Koenigsegg that I've always appreciated is that they put their logo on everything. They trust and love their brand and their product. So there are probably 100+ shields on everything. We actually went and did a factory tour, and I brought that up to them, and probably the best company when it just comes to branding and trusting and believing in their brand. Only vehicle with full carbon fiber wheels, extremely lightweight. They hand build these at the factory.
Carbon fiber, rim for the Jesko, and even I'm not
I should have done that. In terms of looks, I think that's like a 4 out of 10 in terms of the wheel look, but that's okay. It has a completely removable hardtop, so this thing is a Spyder, and the hardtop somehow, the thing is massive. Somehow it fits in here. You have to like remove these air duct vents. It's kind of weird and interesting the way that you have to do it, but you remove the air duct vents, you slide it in there, and it actually just kind of sits loose in there. Like it kind of moves around, but it works, so whatever. Now really the reason why this is my favorite car, it is just so unique, has an incredible road presence. It does this with the front, rear, the doors. It is extremely fast. This held the world record for 0 to 250 miles an hour, back down to 0 for a long while until the Jesko beat it. I called the exhaust like a Bugatti W16 that's refined and like unhinged. It actually sounds like the Bugatti somehow, some way, despite being an 8-cylinder. And it's just loud, raw. You feel the rumble in your back. It has the single speed transmission that just boggles my mind when you're driving. It's like a Tesla electric car with a straight line acceleration, but it has a full powered gas motor behind you with twin turbo amazingness. This is one that I'm most excited, I think, to take you guys for a drive in. So let's hop in and just see what this thing has. This one has kind of a unique startup sequence. You actually have to hit the button. It goes into EV mode, which is kind of cool because it's a loud vehicle, but this allows me to kind of get it out of the neighborhood, nice and quiet at like 6 a.m. if I decide to wake up. Let it kind of load up the systems, power up, and then you hit the button and it's just fun loudness. Refined but unrefined, I don't know. I love the way this thing sounds. So craziest thing is this is the most rare hypercar or supercar that I have. They only built 8 of these things. 80. I don't know if I said that right. That means there's probably 30 in the US, so less than 1 per state. And I think I've only seen 1 other of these in everything else in all my travels and all the car shows that I've ever attended, so super rare. This car actually makes me super excited for the Jesko too, because it's just such a thrill to drive, and the Jesko is even quicker, and I think it looks even cooler. So favorite feature about this vehicle is just the overall road presence, driving experience. I mean, there's a reason it's #1, right? My least favorite feature is probably like, it feels very claustrophobic in here, and it's very difficult to get out of this vehicle. There's like a hammer down by my leg, which makes me even more worried. They're like, hey, if this thing breaks down or the power doesn't work, like, you need to hammer your way out of there.
Stop, hammer time.
So I'm slightly claustrophobic, and it's just so hard to get out of this thing. So that's my least favorite feature, but I can deal with that because it's such an amazing vehicle. So this is the car where if it's been a week or two I haven't driven anything. Hold on one sec. It's so fun. It's crazy. It legit is so fun. This is a car where if I haven't driven anything in like 2 weeks, like I've been out of town, I walk into my garage, I have the full assortment of stuff. It's a nice day. Like, this is the one I'm taking. We're actually on our way to go check on the next car in this collection tour, and this is possibly an even more unique, rare car than this at this point because of its age. It's my favorite classic car that I have, and so hang tight for just a few seconds. Just a side note, this car inches just above the second car in this collection tour. The second one is darn near equal with this one, but what would elevate this one 100 steps above that is if it was just a little bit more reliable for me. We have had some problems where it's been in the shop a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but this last service was a big one, so hopefully this thing is solid and good for the indefinite future. Let's go. Nice new pavement. Gosh, it's just crazy. And the brakes are fantastic. A lot of these vehicles actually don't have great braking either. And it's kind of disappointing, especially the supercar tier vehicles. And this one is just phenomenal. Not quite as good as the Bugatti. Nothing compares to the Bugatti, but braking is still exceptional on this. Final crazy note is that the Gemera was released somewhere in like 2020. That's when they made it public. That was the first ever hypercar I ever put money down on, and it's actually still not available yet, but I am super hyped for that. It's gonna be so fun to have a 4-seater car that can haul around the family exceptionally fast now with the upgraded Jesko engine basically, and that might be the car that I'm the most excited for coming up in the entire collection. So, and we have such a cool spec done on the Jesko and the Gemera too. All right, here we are at JC Central. They service all my old cars. We have my '69 Dodge Daytona. This is such a radical, amazing car. Now, I mentioned that this might even be more rare than the Regera. They actually only built about 500 of these things, and there's a whole story behind how back in the 60s they actually had to make a full-scale production car for them to be able to race it in NASCAR, and this is basically the byproduct of that. That's why it has the huge wing for aerodynamics. This is the only vehicle to break the 200-mile-an-hour average lap time. So of the 500, I'm sure some of them were shipped overseas, but most of them here domestic. But realistically, there's probably less than 100 of these things that exist in good shape in the entire world. So it's possible there's less than the 80 that they produced on the Koenigsegg. I guess we'll never know. Someone could have a bunch of these sitting in a barn, but still incredibly rare, and nobody drive these things on the road, but I just enjoy so much driving it around. And the really crazy thing about it is actually they were super unpopular when they came out. These sat at dealerships for a year plus, and nobody just liked the wildness and the craziness of the styling back then. It's literally just a Dodge Charger, which was extremely popular with the huge wing and with the front nose cone. I actually saw this unexpectedly for the first time when we were visiting Stradman in Utah, and a mutual friend, Damon, owned this vehicle, and it was in his airplane hangar. And I'm like, I have always wanted one of these things. I've just never pulled the trigger. And when I saw how clean it was and how clean the motor was, which we should show, they have a diagnostic tool on there, I think, for checking vacuum, but just incredibly clean, original numbers matching motor. It's not the Hemi. The Hemi of these go for like 1.5 million. Non-Hemis typically go for around 350K, so we paid right around that for this, but super clean. It drives exceptionally well. The interior is even more clean, I think, than anything else. We made a few different modifications to ourselves that were just super simple, tasteful in my opinion. We wanted to pay homage to the 1970 Plymouth Superbird that Richard Petty drove at NASCAR. And so we did the number 69, of course, because again, if you don't know what 69 means, ask your mom. But all the other livery is my company names. So we made it look kind of like the NASCAR look, but they're all my company names. They're people that we have worked with and that have been good partners for us. We matched the wheels to that same spec, same color, white letter tires. The benefit of that was unexpected. It was actually, it gets significantly better traction than the factory spec tires that were on there before. When we unloaded this off the trailer, it was idling and it was literally spinning. Nice job. This is gonna make for fun. Look at it, look at it, look at it. What? We're either gonna wreck this thing today or we're just gonna have a lot of fun. Right then and there, I'm like, okay, we can never drive this in the winter, but now maybe we can. This might be the only car where I'm reluctant to drive it in the winter because it will rust, it is steel. I'm fine with all the super hypercars, who cares? I'll go do donuts in the Bugatti in the snow, but this one might rust and we don't want that to happen. All right, now back to headquarters. The Koenigsegg Regera. Now the funny thing about this car is that I have had this on order longer than any other car that I've owned. The first hypercar I ever bought was the McLaren Senna that got wrecked. And the Gemera, I had actually threw a deposit down even before then. At the time, my kids were all like little. This was like 2019. And it seated 4 people. And I'm like, that is so cool that I can just take the 3 kids out to dinner if Caroline, my wife, is at home or doing something. I can go whip them out to dinner in a hypercar, all of them. And I'm still really excited about it because now they're getting big and huge. My son is 6 feet tall now, and this thing fits 4 like 6'5" tall adults. So I'm really excited, and it's gonna have the Jesko motor in it now, coupled with 3 electric motors that's gonna give it like 1,500 plus horsepower. So super hyped for that, and the doors are like 7 feet tall, which is insane. Make that actually 2,300 horsepower in the Gemera. I didn't even calculate that correct with the electric motors. Craziness. This is my 1985 Chevy Suburban. They actually did this same chassis and body style largely from 1971 all the way to like 1989. So for 18 years, you can basically get the same looking Chevy Suburban. I've been waiting on Bring a Trailer for a long time to find one that was exceptionally clean because there's about one of these that go through a week, and this one finally popped up. And I did pay a premium for it, but it is impeccably clean. Everything works, other than a few things that I already had fixed, like the power steering pump and the cruise control. So literally everything works. It is impeccably clean, has all factory motor, and you can just see how just amazing this thing is. And easy way to tell if it's an old car is just the way that, well, an old car or a Mercedes G-Wagon is when it shuts. You just hear the old loud click. And back in the day, they didn't do a lot of leather in the 80s, so it is all cloth. I just shut the door and then I reopen it right away. Cloth with manual 4-wheel drive selection, which is still kind of prevalent in new trucks as well. For some odd reason, they omitted the third row, so we're gonna throw a third row in there. And these old cars just attract like a different level of enthusiasts. So we get compliments when we bring this kind of everywhere. People appreciate the originality, the oldness of it, and it's just a different group of people that like and respect this car. So it's cool to broadly be able to attract people depending on what kind of car that they like. My favorite feature is just the incredible originality and cleanliness of this vehicle. It is just impeccably clean, and that has to be my favorite. My least favorite feature is that I have not been able to take Tommy's mom for a ride in this. Hi, Julia, how you doing? Love you.
What are you watching, bro?
What? Oh, nothing.
What is
nothing.
Dude, what are you?
I'm shutting it off. Oh.
Oh, what?
All right. Let's talk about the Cybertruck, all right? Next up is the Tesla Cybertruck. Forget about what you saw there. It's a beautiful day. We should go hop in the pool, yeah? Let's do it. Anyway, this is the Cyber Skibidi, AKA the Tesla Cybertruck. One of the newest arrivals to the collection. Side note, it has the largest windshield wiper of any production vehicle in the United States of America, probably in the world. I actually really, really like Teslas. I think this is my 7th or my 8th Tesla. And this thing basically drives like a small SUV, but it's a full freaking truck. Oh, Lordy. This also makes for a great parking spot, but it blocks access to the grill. So this is really fast. This is the Cyber Beast, the one with the 3 electric motors, over 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60, I think in 2.6 seconds. It is a beast on the road. The interior is very simplistic, very kind of modern, futuresque, I guess. Those are both different words, aren't they? I love the way that it drives. I love how quiet it is. I love how Tesla has the best tech in the entire industry. The UI is just, there is no vehicle that has better user interface and accessibility than this vehicle. It actually has a functioning truck bed that stores stuff. The trailer, I don't know. Whistle and Diesel has me a little bit worried about its ability to pull stuff on that trailer, and I legitimately don't know if I'll ever pull one of my super hypercars, but maybe in the future we'll roll the dice and see what happens. I just love the simplistic push button access to all the doors. It's crazy when you actually drive it, how the rear wheels turn aggressively. There's no vehicle I've ever owned or ever seen that have the rear wheels turn as aggressively as this one does to help you parallel park really, really easily and help you take corners extremely sharp. I don't think there is a super hypercar I have that turns and has as sharp of a turning radius as this vehicle does. So my favorite feature about the Tesla Cyber Beast is that it is the fastest truck on the planet that I know about as far as production vehicles go. My least favorite is also kind of one of my most favorite things. It's that it has the summon feature. Now, they just actually rolled this out along with the full autopilot. We're gonna do this now. Go. Such a cool feature. The thing will just come to you. We're gonna walk to the front of the driveway. So it'll walk. It'll actually creep all the way to wherever you are standing. There it is. That's so crazy. It turns. Let's see if make sure it doesn't hit the Lambo. We don't want that to happen. So scary. Bro, that thing is awesome. Whoa, it's so close. Teslas have been extremely reliable for me. As I mentioned, the interiors are comfortable. And then we're gonna stop it. All right, stop. Stop, stop, stop. Stop. Come on, baby, stop. Stop, they got some bugs to work out on this thing. Stop. Stop, okay, good deal. What the hell, what the? Oh, shit. I guess Tesla's got some work to do on that. Good job, summon feature. The Hennessy Venom F5 Revolution Roadster, that's a lot to say. This is a vehicle that'll be done in like 4 weeks. We ended up matching, color matching my old Senna. It had Napier green accents on it and just a really bright, awesome color, and this color needed that with a bunch of carbon. And I love roadsters, so having the top off will be super fun. That's also what she said. And it's just a fast, raw car that I thoroughly enjoyed when I went and test drove it at the Hennessy facility. They've done a phenomenal job of communicating and giving us production updates, but just really hyped for that car, and look out for that delivery video exceptionally soon too. I cannot wait to go beast that thing around. We are here at Apex Motorsports, and this is my McLaren Senna. Now, this is actually the second Senna I've had because the first one we wrecked. So here is the second one. This one looks like it's wrecked, but it's actually not. So we actually did a big track day where we raced the Bugatti versus the Rimac.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Dude!
This was just our workhorse for the day, and it got monsooned on. So the engine had water mixed in the oil. It looked like a milky, sludgy nastiness. And so we had to actually end up fully replacing the motor. And I'm not gonna just replace the motor, rebuild it to factory specs. We bought some huge turbos. Let's show you guys those. Those are so clean. I wish I had the old ones so I could size spec them, but look at the carbon fiber intake. Wow. Bro, I didn't know that was carbon. That's crazy. Total engine rebuild, it's gonna produce probably 1,200 to 1,300 horsepower. It's gonna shoot big flames, and hopefully the water won't get into the exhaust. Speaking of exhaust, we had an unobtainium exhaust, really loud, awesome. I think it was the first exhaust ever installed on a Senna, and it had a aggressive tune, which it will have again. Favorite thing about the car would probably be just the sound and the pops and bangs. So fun to drive. It's the only hypercar I have that has just a wild, crazy tune, and it is just a total experience. Least favorite thing is that it is the stiffest, most painful seats and suspension that I have on any vehicle. It is a super lightweight car, and I think they sacrifice probably some suspension components and comfort and seat components for sure to make it a little more comfy. So it's like sitting on a board. You can really only drive this thing 30 minutes before you have back pains. Other than the massive engine issue, this has been extremely reliable for us. The styling is unlike any other vehicle on the planet. It looks like the freaking Batmobile. For $1 million, I think this is the hypercar that I would buy right now. Now, if this was in terms of just sheer investment, I'd go buy another Veyron, but I enjoy driving this more than I did the Veyron. So this is the best $1 million you can spend. And for number 3 out of all of the brand new cars that I haven't showed you guys yet, is my Ferrari GTC4Lusso. I actually wanted a car that I can go transport my 3 kids in, take them out to dinner, do various things like that, and what better car to do it than the 4-seater Ferrari. This actually has a front engine V12. They also made it in a V8 twin turbo, but the V12 comes all-wheel drive, so that's better traction for the Chicago winters here. And it just sounds a lot better. I was shocked when I started this thing up that it sounded just like the LaFerrari. That was actually crazy, and it's actually quite loud with the valves open, so loud that in fact I think we're just going to keep the factory exhaust on this, and we have the extended warranty on it, so we don't want to ruin that yet. That'll last 2 months before I go and modify it. Now, I do have a love-hate relationship with Ferrari. This is actually my only Ferrari in the entire collection. I've had quite a bit in the past. This thing is kind of the perfect balance between not being over techy like the SF90, but not being under techy. So it actually works out quite well, and it's really fun and comfortable and fast to drive, and it fits the kids actually in the back quite comfortably. I'm surprised how much leg space it has inside of the vehicle. They actually niched out like the sides of each of the seats in the back so knees can fit around them quite easily. We are going to throw some aftermarket wheels, of course, from fitmentindustries.com. If you guys need wheels and tires, once again, go to fitmentindustries.com for all of your needs. And we're also going to be wrapping this in crimson red, a color from Flexi Shield, because those guys are homies. They make the best product, and so much of our stuff is already wrapped with them. So look forward to this thing becoming red in the very near future. My favorite feature about it is that it just seats 4 people and it's really comfortable. And my least favorite feature is that it's just a freaking Ferrari. On to the next. All right, Zelda, which car should we do next? Which car? Yeah? Lamborghini Aventador? All right, let's do it. And here you have it, the Lamborghini Aventador SV. Now, we did not get the SVJ because it's like $300,000 more. I think the SV looks better, it's more rare than the SVJ, and this thing is just amazing, and I loved the color combo of it. we decided to add a Gintani exhaust to it, which makes it arguably one of the most fun cars, if not the most fun car to drive if you just completely take out clout and forget about the hypercars. This might be the most fun, exhilarating driving experience. We're gonna take you guys for a drive just so you can hear the insanity of the Gintani exhaust. Really, that's the only modification that we did other than that and the tune that goes with it. I did have a Lamborghini Aventador before. It's one of the few cars that I've actually ended up buying twice. I had a black one before that was just the base model. I learned from this one that it is extremely important to do the Corsa mode and manual shift. Otherwise, the aggressiveness of the shifting just absolutely is horrible. It's unpredictable, and it made the car just not fun to experience. But once you level set your mind and just learn to manually shift it or paddle shift it every time, it changes the complete experience of this car. And it's a roadster, which is my favorite thing in a vehicle. Having the top off, there's just nothing else that compares, and it's beautiful out today, so let's go take it for a drive. Sounds amazing. So loud. So my favorite feature obviously about this car is just the amazing driving experience, the loudness and the rawness of the exhaust. My least favorite feature about this is probably just the lack of trackability. It's wide, the steering is a little heavy, although this is better than the base model Aventador. Just not a great car for handling and tracking. But interior on this thing is a little interesting. The UI has always been very behind on the Lamborghini. We had to add CarPlay to it. This is a 2016, but you would think the tech is from like a 2009. But we're gonna go do some polls because that's what this thing's all about. Let's throw it in Corsa mode. The only way to do it. That's why I bought it. And the great thing is, since Lamborghini is part of the Volkswagen family, it's actually a solidly reliable car, as was my other one. We've only had a couple small issues go wrong on either of my Aventadors, so well-built vehicle too. On to the next vehicle. The Koenigsegg Jesko. I have had this one on order for a couple years as well, and we have what I think is one of the coolest specs out there. It's been called the Nerf gun, but I don't think it's a Nerf gun. I think it just looks crazy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on this one, because this one is unique, but like blue and orange are my two favorite colors, and no better car to do it than on the Jesko. And if you notice before, the Gemera was actually the opposite spec of that, so we're gonna do the sister version of that car. The Gemera is basically gonna be inverts. So it'll be neat seeing those two together and crazy. But the Koenigsegg Jesko is another extremely high horsepower car that's gonna be fast. I drove one at the Koenigsegg on their airstrip. Along with the Regera, and just seeing these and hearing them is the car that I am the most excited for. The Regera in itself, since I've now had experience driving the Koenigsegg, is just a crazy engineering marvel that is so fun and crazy to look at. And if you guys want to see all of these cars get delivered, hit that subscribe button right now and see all the crazy shenanigans that we do with them as they get delivered. Now back to the regular collection tour vehicles that I have right now. Next up is my wife's 2021 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. This was the first Wrangler 392 in the entire US of A that had a supercharger installed. We should pop that open and check it out. Boom. Oh, yes. I was looking at a vehicle at a dealership a long time ago, and I forgot the prop thing was down, and I went to shut the hood, and I bent the hood right in half and hightailed my way on out of the dealership. I was super young and not intelligent. Fucking superchargers dead center on the motor, duh. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Anyway, there's the supercharger. It's huge right on top of the intake manifold where it belongs. There's the pulley that turns the supercharger. And the annoying part about this is when it got added, they're like, all right, so we tuned it, we did it all. It added 40 horsepower. I'm like, what do you mean only 40 horsepower? And they said, well, these engines are notoriously underbuilt, and if we tune it any higher, it's gonna make the engine fall apart. And I'm like, well, that's great. I would have never spent $14,000 on a supercharger had I known that. So thank you, Dodge, for your quality 392 motors. Let's go, you gotta hear this startup. It's incredible. And it's Valvetronic, so you can do a quiet startup for the neighbors when you wanna be quiet, which I never do. I gotta turn it on full blast even at 6 a.m. favorite feature about this is that it almost pops a wheelie and has no doors. Like there's no other vehicle other than the Bronco, modern day, that you can just whip all the doors and the roof off. That's that dog. And hear your dog so clearly through the car. Least favorite feature is that it's just a Jeep at the end of the day, and there's a lot more cool daily drivers. So this is my last ranked of the dailies, but it still serves a purpose. It's great in the summer. It's super fun. Love having the doors. And the top is actually a super cool feature when Jeep swapped to the electric top. Such a good feature. We should try and see if this thing will still get off the ground a little bit. I swear we got the wheels like a 1/4 inch off the ground. Let's go do a quick pull. I was in reverse. That was fun. This thing, it's crazy that this is a Jeep. It's a supercharged Jeep that's just so stinking fast. And for the very last vehicle, this is my brand new one. It's literally arriving right now as I speak, my Hummer H1. I have yet to see this vehicle. That's pretty. That's a beaut. So my brother had an H1 and I truly loved it. He got rid of his, didn't have one. This is a great winter car. I know because I drove his quite a bit, and I legitimately haven't even opened this thing up yet. I bought it sight unseen. The funny thing is my brother Joel was actually the one scouting and looking for one of these, and I'm like, hey, what's the best H1 that you have found? And then he sent me this one. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna buy it. This thing is clean. I like it. That's locked. Light bar, some tasteful mods. My favorite feature about the last H1 that I drove was that it is like the apocalyptic, just awesome vehicle. It's so fun in the winter. My least favorite was also part of my most favorite, and that's that it is stupid slow. So my brother went and modded his out and put a crazy fast engine in it. This thing has to be a totally factory motor. I love the slowness and originality of it, and that's the way that we're gonna keep it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to share your shit and be good to others.